Last week, as we entered the virtual Watkins Glen International, 3 drivers were only 1 point apart for the championship lead. Even though they all had very different races, Henry Kallhoff, Cameron Chandler, and Richard Cherry, all 3 of them left again, only 1 point between themselves and the championship victory. Now it's our final race and the final opportunity for any of our drivers to win the title. 3 remain eligible, and it will be winner take all in Florida. Welcome back to the virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway. You're watching coverage of the Kallhoff-Deitch Racing Summer Series, brought to you with Saturday Night Thunder. And today, Homestead, Florida, the place to be as we return to the well-known championship circuit, once used by the NASCAR Cup Series to decide the title. This is where a champion will be crowned today, as qualifying is on the move for our Summer Series finale. Drivers are off the circuit right now. 10 drivers have taken times. 13 have registered, still waiting on 3 more to get on the way. I'll be your host for tonight's broadcast. I'm David Kreutz, commentating and producing. And last week, we thought it would be a pretty big advantage for Cameron Chandler. He had the most pace of any of the big 3 in the championship race. However, he ended up damaged and was not able to compete for the race win. As the night went on, Jamie McKinney was able to get away with victory after he had contact with Chandler that destroyed the number 8 team. Cameron was able to come away for a top 5 finish regardless. Henry Kallhoff was as well. Richard Cherry was able to sit on the podium, and now Henry Kallhoff only leads the championship by 1 point. He's got a total of 167. Cherry and Cameron Chandler both have 166 apiece. Now, notably, you'll see that the number 8 team is not with us tonight, and so that means it's going to be a head-to-head race between Richard Cherry and Henry Kallhoff for the championship. Those 2 drivers put in times very similar to one another, and as you can tell, they're going to be 2nd and 3rd on the lineup respectively, so they are remarkably close, and positions are going to be tight. 13 drivers are set to race today. Kallhoff-Deitch Racing seeing multiple cars, including Henry Kallhoff and Aaron Schugel, who has not taken a time. With 20 seconds on the clock, the fastest times and speeds have been recorded. For the 3rd consecutive week, Jamie McKinney, fastest man in qualifying, and he'll take another pole position with 163.13 mile an hour lap across this venue. This fastest time clocks in P1, and he'll take the pole position 32.656 seconds. It's the money lap, and it's all Jamie McKinney. Qualifying has concluded. Cherry is in 2nd, Henry Kallhoff is in 3rd, and it's about time now for our final 5 minutes of practice. Qualifying has concluded, but we know who exactly we'll be looking at for the big show. Jamie McKinney now looking for his 2nd consecutive win. McKinney among those who are now on the racing circuit getting their final practice laps through. Going to be a nighttime race all throughout today. It's already past sunset with an ambient temperature of 80 degrees, although that's going to change by the time we go racing. 13 drivers registered to finish off the season, and their times have been collected. Let's get to know your starting grid for our Season 1 finale of the SNT Summer Series. Now, Jamie McKinney has been dominant as of late. In the Bristol Motor Speedway, he led more than 100 laps. Watkins Glen, he came away with his very first win. And now, for the 3rd consecutive week, he's at the top of the board to begin another race. That's right, it's Jamie McKinney taking P1, and with his pole position time, a 32.656, the field was no match for McKinney. Next up, you'll have Richard Cherry in the number 10. Richard takes it to 2nd place with a 32.708 lap. That's critical for him. He'll start ahead of his championship rival. If Cherry outfinishes Henry Kallhoff today, he will come home as a champion at the end of night. Henry Kallhoff, he's got the same situation, where if he finishes ahead of Richard Cherry, he will win the title instead. Kallhoff tonight finding himself qualifying 3rd. And less than 31 thousandths of a second away from outlasting Cherry on the qualifying circuit. He was just a little bit slower, and it just wasn't enough. Then from there, you're going to have Connor Asbell, who is 4th place qualifying tonight. 5th will go Carter Casey. Vinny Tigner will line up beside him in the number 12. Kenneth Garrell is P7, and it will be Tyler Seaver 8th with the 79 of Ashton Miller making his debut. Ashton going 9th. Andres Varas concludes the top 10. Final 3 drivers include Payson Lindsay in the number 99, Chris Tripp in the number 44, and Aaron Schugel is going to be out there as well as his teammate looks to compete for the title. Kallhoff-Deitch Racing at the front and the back of the grid. It's your final qualifying lineup before the main series begins. But to end the summer series, it's a stacked field. Cherry and Kallhoff are fighting for the championship as Jamie McKinney takes another pole position and starts at the front of the field again. He has been rapid all throughout his half season, and McKinney is back. Another pole position as he is set to start in front, and he looks for his second win at Homestead tonight. Less than 2 minutes on the clock as drivers take final times, and Henry Kallhoff has to be feeling the pressure here. Kallhoff in the number 63 has been a championship-leading threat since his opening victory at the Kansas Speedway. That was the second race of the season. Right now, he finds himself on pit road. He's got himself that win to back himself up off. Now, that was the last time we went to a mile-and-a-half racetrack, which Homestead is as well, an intermediate circuit. So Kallhoff has that track-type advantage tonight since we're back racing at a track most similar to, of course, Kansas. It has the same length, and it has that same size, and that's going to help out immensely for Kallhoff if he can pull the same strategy tricks together. Richard Cherry on pit road as well. Richard tonight, and you'll see in that Toyota Camry, ready to go for it. This is the biggest race of his SNT career. Part-timer last season, but he's really blossomed over this campaign. He is still looking for his maiden victory. Has not been able to get there. He has 3 top 5s and 4 top 10s. Henry Kallhoff has the same statistics. The only difference is Cherry's best finish is a P2. The best finish for Kallhoff is a P1, a victory. So, 1 point separating those two drivers over the course of the season. And now, it's about time that they decide amongst themselves who's got it made and who will be a race winner. Jamie McKinney, of course, is looking for the win. He's not a championship contender, but that didn't stop him from going all out and winning at Watkins Glen for the very first time in his SNT career. Could have been 2 in a row had it not been for Bristol not panning out at the end of the race for him. He ended up being outlasted, and Cameron Chandler was able to get through to victory lane. Now burning it out and maybe preparing for that last victory, Henry Kallhoff and Jamie McKinney alike are waiting, and the clock is through. Time's up on practice and qualifying, and it's now time to make our way to the starting grid for the final time in the SNT Summer Series. The field is set to go at it for the final time, and it will be a final time that's pretty brief. We're going to have ourselves a race week off, and we should have competition returning by the beginning of August for Saturday Night Thunder. So if you've enjoyed all the coverage you've seen so far, there's a lot more still planned. Saturday Night Thunder is returning for a 15-race schedule, and it's going to be just about as long as we saw last season. Going to have a few break weeks in between. NASCAR Cup Series still going strong as well. It's going to be the summer nights we begin with, but we'll go all the way until November to finish off 2025 with more exciting racing. The summer series has been pretty impressive so far, and I think you're looking at some new faces in that front row who are really going to come to life when the main series begins. Jamie McKinney and Richard Cherry have been thoroughly impressive so far. McKinney having a win, Cherry looking for the championship. These are drivers who I think, above all else, are worth looking at. Not only worth looking at, but worth expecting more of. And in the next few weeks, they'll get a chance to prove it. Henry Kallhoff finally able to break that winless streak in the SNT competition. Not in the main series just yet. However, he's got a real good opportunity to make this momentum. If he gets himself a good run, maybe gets himself a championship, and take that to the next step. We'll see what happens as the number 63 of Kallhoff starts third today. You'll have Connor Asbell there in fourth. Carter Casey with an oversized paint scheme, and it looks like it's almost not fitting there. Got the number 18 number stretched out, can't even read interstate batteries on there. And a new look for the final time this season. Interesting look at that. I don't know if that's intentional, but it's coming pretty clear right here at Homestead. Drivers in the back of the field lined up. Aaron Schugel not with us. Payson Lindsay is. Looking at Chris Tripp, Andres Vara. So it looks like 12 drivers will be lined up with us here as we are set to get going. 100 laps on the table, 150 miles. And with that said, strategy should be a simple breakup. As you look at the back of the field right now, we're going to have ourselves no fuel cap. And we're going to have only 3 extra sets available as the field gets on its way. That means that most likely we're going to see, I would think anyway, a one-stop strategy under green. Taking a look above the virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway, weather is real solid. Sunny skies in our aerial shot, but right now it is nighttime from Homestead with an ambient temperature of 78 degrees Fahrenheit and a track temp of 80 degrees. Humidity's coming in at about 71% and the winds are light. They won't be a concern for anyone in the field today. Track conditions are fantastic. It's going to give drivers the go-ahead to push, be aggressive, and race hard all night long, which is exactly what we expect when a championship is on the line. Jamie McKinney cares less about that championship. He wants to go out there for victory, but the drivers who are right behind him, Sherry and Kallhoff, both have a lot more at stake. iRacing official pace car ducks in. 2 drivers separate by only 1 point. It's toe-to-toe for the title as Jamie McKinney and Richard Cherry lead the field to green. Welcome back to the Homestead-Miami Speedway. We're here to decide a champion, and Cherry surges up top as McKinney leads Henry Kallhoff into the back straights. Sherry able to take it on the opening lap, getting to the inside of Jamie McKinney. He used that high side real well and burst it out to a rocket start. Just like that, it's an easy beginning for the driver, the number 25. Jamie McKinney is going to fall further behind here. Connor Asbell, the number 72, takes second place as they're jousting and jockeying for position behind here. There's Henry Kallhoff. Kallhoff is to the high side on Carter Casey. Henry gets it up top, and he's going to surge up there. McKinney not able to get a good run. Your posts that are actually letting off, and that's rather uncommon from what we've seen of him so far. McKinney, when he has pace, he usually tries to stick himself up in the conversation early and not let go. So we'll see if he's doing anything different today, or if he just doesn't have it on the long term. Of course, we've only just started here, but we have another change in hands for your race lead. That is the number 72. Here you have it, is Connor Asbell to the points. Four laps in out of 100, side by side again. The 72 takes it way high. Henry Kallhoff comes with. Kallhoff up top is looking to take the championship lead now. A little bit of a slow start for this number 63 team, but as you can see, he's right there with Richard Cherry. Up top, you got the number 99, Payson Lindsay. Lindsay looking to make it 3 wide off the corner with Jamie McKinney. They're really close, banging off each other, McKinney and Kallhoff. Henry goes a little bit higher. McKinney gets away from it as well. Side by side between Payson Lindsay and the 29 of Richard Cherry. Wow, Payson Lindsay is fast tonight. Payson is there, taking the high side and using it. And not only using it, but he is so consistently quicker than just about everyone else around him. And up to the high side, Kallhoff with McKinney again. Contact with the 0-1 sends Kallhoff down the order. He finds himself now 9th. Now, usually being in the top 10 isn't a horrible thing, but not only is this only a 1-point championship race, but being in 9th place is being about 4th to last, while Richard Cherry is in 3rd overall. Payson Lindsay, new race leader. And that one was rather expected. I mean, you saw that number 99 team making the moves from the back of the field immediately. And the high groove, he is so comfortable with pushing it up there that I wouldn't be surprised now if he puts a gap on the rest of the field. Payson Lindsay is the only driver unafraid to use that grip strip and get all the way up to the top of the track. And watch down the back straightaway because nobody's able to catch him when they go down the straights. It's the compromise of going up there and knowing you're going to have to take a little bit more time to round the corner and then pulling back with so much more speed than anyone else. And so far for Payson, it looks like it's been worth it just going up top and letting it happen. Richard Cherry still ahead of Henry Kallhoff. Kallhoff now finding himself in 8th. Carter Casey side by side for 2nd. That's with Connor Asbell. And Cherry's going to try to pull through and take him with him. Connor slides in between the two, but only briefly. Richard Cherry in these opening 10 laps has had the advantage, and that's all the edge he needs. Keep in mind that while Richard not leading right now, he has led 1 lap. That is pivotal. If Henry Kallhoff does not lead any laps tonight, that is a bonus point that goes in Richard Cherry's favor. And as a result, they would be level on points as we speak, not even accounting for the race performance. Oh, Richard Cherry taking 3 wide. He will fall behind Henry Kallhoff. And now they're really dead even. The battle between the number 10 and the number 63, the orange and the purple tonight, that is everything. Richard Cherry is falling back. Henry Kallhoff takes championship advantage. And now P6 is the championship winning position. P8, not so much as you look ahead. Jamie McKinney looks low on Connor Asbell. That's going to be for 3rd. Carter Casey is looking to catch up now to Payson Lindsay. And it's going to be nose to tail for 3rd place. Watch that. Vinny Tigner takes it low. Vinny looking for one final podium this season. Gets it to the inside and with ease gets it low and in. He'll take both spots and a 2 for 1. Henry Kallhoff would like to replicate it. Henry heads up high, at least higher than the 0-1 of McKinney. And as he does so, it looks like Connor Asbell is only going to take it higher. Kallhoff has gotten away from Richard Cherry. At least now position has been put between them as a buffer, but he hasn't been able yet to get by Asbell. This is the perfect opportunity to do so. He takes it to the inside of turns 1 and 2, gets off the corner well. "12 laps in, out of 100. And you'll see here Vinny Tigner having it made as well. He's gotten himself so far out from the podium battle. It's a lot like how Payson Lindsay burst out for the lead, but Payson now is seeing some troubles. Carter Casey's getting closer in that rearview mirror. And as Carter Casey gets tighter and tighter to the front of the pack and pulls it together, might just see another battle for the lead, and the top spot will switch hands again. Jamie McKinney, Richard Cherry, Payson Lindsay, and maybe Carter Casey up next to lead. Cherry to the inside on Connor Asbell, looking to take that spot right back. Whoever finishes in front of each other between Henry Kallhoff and Richard Cherry will win the championship. Right now, title advantage is Henry Kallhoff. Very difficult to predict who of the two will come away with that top spot at the end of night, though. These first 14 laps, of course, it's very important to succeed, but it's really that second stint that's going to matter the most. Watch to the inside, Tyler Sevier on Connor Asbell. That is the move for 7th. Both Richard Cherry and Henry Kallhoff making pivotal mistakes early that dropped them to the back half of the field, and as a result, they're both trying to work away from those mistakes at the same time. Had Richard Cherry not slipped back so quickly, he wouldn't have found himself behind Henry Kallhoff at all, and before that, Kallhoff was ahead of him. So it's been a back and forth, although for both drivers, they've only slipped further back, and that's been definitely to their detriment. 16 laps in out of 100. The championship race is stagnant. Payson Lindsay has to go on defense here for Carter Casey. Carter Casey looks low for the first time tonight. The 18's got a shot. He'll try for it on the bottom. Lindsay goes back to his secret formula. And it's no secret, I mean, they can see it, but nobody else knows how to push it the exact way he does. Payson Lindsay all the way in front again. Just one rip on the high side, and he takes more than a tenth and a half into his own hands. Payson for P1, Vinny Tigner, P3. Still watching. You got the co-owners of this league running second and third. Carter Casey having the stronger of the two nights so far, but either way, both of them have been locked in to this point. Very close to each other. They started alongside each other in 5th and 6th, and that's exactly where they are now again. Of course, 2nd and 3rd. Lindsay in the 99, still holding it down on defense. Carter Casey has not gotten there after that first shot. Kallhoff, 5th. Cherry, 6th. Tyler Sevier, 7th. Connor Asbell, 8th. And further back, you've got the rookie driver, Ashton Miller, in P9. Take your head to the high side. He'll get it again now on Jamie McKinney. This time, though, he's going to have a little bit more trouble. And that's going to be that defense, because he'll have to work on Henry Kallhoff, too. Kallhoff tries to get to the inside of McKinney. Toe-to-toe. This time it's for 5th. And as Jamie McKinney goes side by side with Henry Kallhoff, it slows them both down. That's going to be great for Richard Cherry. He's still watching, but he hasn't quite been able to make much of it. Watch now. The gap between them within 3 car lengths. Cherry is there. Jamie McKinney able to fend off Henry Kallhoff. And it looks like Henry's going to lose that spot. And most importantly, lose that battle. Which I think is going to be real bad news for this number 63 team. Henry finds himself right in a good position, I would say. But he's going to be in a very tricky spot if Cherry even pulls up to his side. Not a hard place to get out of. He can get through on Jamie McKinney if he can just build a run up again, but that's no guarantee. Jamie McKinney goes low. But with him comes Richard Cherry for the championship lead. The two drivers fighting for it side by side again. Cherry, as close as he's been since he dropped back 10 laps ago, couldn't get there. And so he'll wait again for the opportunity. Henry Kallhoff finds himself just behind Jamie McKinney. As McKinney goes for another spot, this will be Jamie on Vinny Tigner. Watch what happens now for the number 12. Up top, Tigner. No longer. It's going to be Jamie McKinney taking it to the higher side of the circuit. And Vinny tries to defend low. Looks like it works out right there. Even though McKinney gets a better run down the back straightaway, he lost himself all that time and distance. It even gives Henry Kallhoff another shot. Kallhoff has to be mindful, however, as he goes for this position time and again. I think the more times that he fails at getting it, the more problematic it becomes. Because right now, he's going to lose a lot of pace getting side by side with the driver, having to compromise his line, and then having to back off. This time, though, he will not back off. It's going to be Richard Cherry looking for the same position. Kallhoff ahead of McKinney. Now watch as Richard Cherry looks to take the spot. Payson Lindsay still ahead of Carter Casey. Watch this now. Kallhoff all over the back end of the 12 and the 18. Henry looking to get up in front and take it to the podium. Casey takes it to the second groove again. Henry Kallhoff still stays on the bottom, and as he feeds it low, he's been taking Richard Cherry up the way. If Richard Cherry has enough venom to stay behind Henry Kallhoff for now, it's interesting to see who's playing the tire-saving game better. So far, they've been very close on pace, but of course, Richard Cherry has not yet been able to make a pass for the better part of 12.5 laps. Richard has led a lap. Henry Kallhoff is not. Position is everything. They are level on points with the bonus points added on. So if Richard gets the spot, it's his championship. If Henry Kallhoff gets the spot, it's his as well. Take a look aboard now with Kallhoff as he looks to get inside the podium. Let's see if he can rattle Carter Casey. Driver telemetry on the left side of your screen. We'll bring it up right now and you'll see it's all fourth gear, and the game is how much power you can put into it. The throttle being controlled well by Henry Kallhoff. Being delicate is a big, big trick. It's not even a trick, it's just a fact of how it is. And if you're good with your throttle, you'll be real good all the way. Henry Kallhoff a little bit closer to that wall, a little bit closer than the guys ahead of him, but it still looks like they're breaking away. Richard Cherry is big focus. He's not driver with the rearview mirror in mind just yet, but I'll tell you this much. Richard Cherry and Henry Kallhoff, this is the battle of battles tonight. You might see it close up in front, but for the title, these two drivers still neck and neck. Richard Cherry trying for the third time now to take that position back. Hasn't yet been able to get there. He will look low. Henry Kallhoff up high. Still no dice. Cherry's trying, but every time he's gotten out of turn 2, he's just snapped out of it and hasn't been able to take that position. .30 laps in out of 100. Make it lap number 31. It's Payson Lindsay still to the point. Benny Tigner has gotten ahead of Carter Casey as they've also gone side by side. It looks like those two have been trading that position back and forth. Scuffing off the wall from Jamie McKinney here. Wonder what's going to happen now as the 29 of Cherry again backs off. 31 laps in out of 100. We are more than halfway through. And seeing what's going on, it looks like anyway, Cherry's close, but hasn't yet got it. Watch what happens now. Single file down the line. Benny takes it up the second groove, interestingly. You see he takes it higher into the entry and puts more power off exit. Up top, Vinny Tigner again. Now, Payson Lindsay hasn't really paid much mind to this. As he's gotten the race lead, he has been able to hold it. 27 laps led of 33 so far. And so it'll be 27 of 100, of course, throughout the whole race. A few other drivers have gotten through for 1 or 2 laps, but Payson with the high side, if he pulls it out for a half lap, and you'll see when Vinny Tigner gets close, he drives a little different. When he goes up top here, nobody's able to match him. Payson Lindsay to the ceiling of the circuit. Oh, this time around, he'll actually make contact with the wall. The first sign of any mistake with that more aggressive style up top. Here's for lap number 28. Vinny Tigner still not able to pull through. That is exactly what we mentioned. When he goes up high, he is on top. Vinny keeping Carter Casey behind. Richard Cheery now ahead of Henry Kallhoff. Kallhoff looking as Jamie McKinney's coming through quick. Take a look now as McKinney gets to the bottom. It's going to be another position, a buffer. This time it's not going to be in Kallhoff's favor. The problem with Henry Kallhoff that we've seen in many an instance is that for the most part, he's better on the short run. And when he gets to this long run point, there's no way he can hang on. He'll get ahead of McKinney there, but both drivers waver. Vinny to the bottom. Payson Lindsay this time is behind as he goes high. We'll see if the backstretch saves him. For the first time tonight, Vinny Tigner is up and ahead. Payson Lindsay looks low. As they enter turn 3, he'll take the race lead. 3 wide for second, almost there, as Carter Casey gets up with Richard Cheery. Cheery tries to enter the podium. Vinny switches back to the inside and takes the race lead. 37 laps in out of 100. And Vinny again slides out in front. Hasn't yet led a lap, but now he's got the edge down the back straight. Payson Lindsay still gets a surge into turn 3. He'll take it as deep as he possibly can. Comes up the track. Carter Casey for second place on Vinny Tigner. And Tigner's boxed in. Across the line, Lindsay defending, blocking with the back bumper. Toe-to-toe all over. And Carter Casey goes low. Now Lindsay's got double trouble. The 12 and the 18, even if they're not working with each other, he's boxed in. Casey's ahead of the 12 of Tigner. Richard Cheery now inside the podium conversation, and inside the podium itself, the 99 leads the way. Take a look from behind Payson Lindsay, and you'll see how jam tight it is. Vinny Tigner not able to stick it well through turns 3 and 4. Coming across the line again, it's all Payson Lindsay. Lap number 40. Lindsay still taking hold. Vinny Tigner has been able to lead multiple times tonight and still hasn't led a lap. He's gotten real close to doing so, but every time, even by a few thousandths of a second, Lindsay's been able to get it done. Now Richard Cheery takes control. Cheery to P1, Lindsay further back, Carter Casey side by side with the number 99, and your championship leader now holds the race lead. This is about the worst thing that Henry Kallhoff could see, as now there's no way to knock him off the top unless he does it himself. Victory for either Cherry or Henry Kallhoff would automatically guarantee the title win. "41 laps in to 42. Casey, Lindsay, Tigner, Jamie McKinney, then back in P5. A little bit of contact now between the 01 and the 99. Oh, McKinney, real close there to having an issue. Luckily, Jamie's able to get away from it, as does Lindsay. Just a brief instance of contact, and that's going to be the signal in for the 99. Payson Lindsay will drop through. And as Payson does so, the 99 team is the first of any to come down to pit road. Payson Lindsay drops in. Payson, with the most laps led in the night so far, is going to go for the undercut call at lap number 43. It will be about a 57-lap run from this point onward to finish the job for Lindsay. So, it's a risky call. I don't know if it's going to be the best to go the whole distance, but now we're seeing drivers making their moves into pit road. Watch that stint time, and you'll see who goes in and when. 44 laps in, and so the majority of the field is on that opening run as we expected. Here's the number 77 of Tyler Seaver, now in 7th. Henry Kallhoff is a distant 5th. Top 4, a little bit of contact again. Jamie McKinney with Vinny Tigner. Tight racing, and Vinny gets up in the wall. Now Jamie McKinney does so, brushing it out of turn 4. "45 laps in out of 100. Vinny Tigner, P3 again. Carter Casey getting second. Those two drivers have really been testing each other all night long. Richard Cherry has broken away, however, and now there is no doubt that with him up in front, he's not going to have to concern himself with anything but hitting his marks. He is currently 3 seconds ahead of Henry Kallhoff as we come closer to the halfway marker. And this is all the assurance a driver needs when it comes to a championship victory. Richard Cherry out in the head. Carter Casey scrapes the wall. It's side by side for third. But Richard, for him to get his first win tonight, it would be immeasurably important. Not only immeasurably important, but excellent for a team that has come in with minimal SNT experience. He's raced with us a few times, but now to really show his strength and prove it in the offseason, this is going to be the biggest elevation of confidence any driver can have. And I'll tell you this much, it's wonderful that he's gotten to this point, and he's doing so well with it. But he's got a long ways to go. The job is not even halfway done, and although I don't doubt him, I think we're still yet to see what's really going to come. Richard Cherry still having a lot of time until it's all concluded, so he's got to watch his back and still keep himself real honest as we get toward the halfway point. Lap 50 is coming up, and then we'll see the majority of the field head down to pit road. That'll be the most important time for most drivers of the entire race. Nothing is a guarantee, that's without question, but most importantly, you can guarantee when you go down to pit road, and you can guarantee what you get out of it. Everything else on the racetrack, it's not at your discretion fully, but what you do on the racetrack right here matters most. 49 for Richard Cherry. Vinny Tigner, 6th to 4th. Henry Kallhoff, 3rd to 5th. And it looks like right now, he's getting caught up by the back end guys, including Tyler Seaver here. The gap between them only 0.8 of a second. Carter Casey still with Jamie McKinney. McKinney surges out to P2. Your pole sitter back in the catbird seat. And look at this. Now, although he's far out from Richard Cherry, he's undeniably closer than most other drivers would be, and they absolutely are further back. So if anyone's going to take it from Richard Cherry from here, it'll be more than likely Jamie McKinney. It's a shame that we weren't able to see Jamie's full potential come in, as he was, unfortunately, one of the guys who missed the first 2 races of the season and now finds himself further back in the championship points. Take a look on board McKinney and let's see how this lap goes. Halfway down, halfway to go, Jamie McKinney and Vinny Tigner, positions 1 and 2. That's because already your leading man, Richard Cheery, is down and in a pit road, and he's on his way. 4 tires and fuel for the number 10. McKinney comes through, bringing with them Vinny Tigner. It'll be Tigner now coming in from 2nd. Tyler Sevier coming in from 3rd. Connor Asbell gets back on the lead lap at the same time, and Richard Cheery is on the way. So it looks like we're waiting on our holdouts here. Up in front, Tyler Sevier is the only driver who has not gone down to pit road. McKinney and Tigner, 1st and 2nd, they have to this point. 52 laps in out of 100. 49 laps remaining and time still to spare as Jamie McKinney now exits pit road, as does Connor Asbell. Carter Casey right now is going to cycle up and ahead of him. Carter is actually ahead of Richard Cheery as well. He'll get a more efficient pit stop, but your championship leader is only just behind. Kallhoff, got to look back for him, 8th place. It looks like he cycles tighter to Vinny Tigner. Either way, Tigner not getting a good pit stop as he is several seconds behind Carter Casey. 3.5 back on the 18, which means that Henry Kallhoff is about 4 seconds behind. Connor Asbell in this 72 with 48 laps remaining. He's up and leading. But again, look at the stint data, and that'll tell you what's going on here. He's on a 20-lap run, which means those tires are about as old as they get. Carter Casey in the number 18, Richard Cheery in the number 10. These drivers have only 3 laps of age on their rubber, which means they're going to be faster naturally. Asbell's going to fall back. Side by side, still nothing from Richard Cheery. He hasn't been able to get an exit off the corner to make a pass, but also is he trying to do so? That's something to consider. So, we say that because right now he only is dealing with Carter Casey. Casey's about 1/10 of a second in front of him. There's nobody else directly in competition. While Jamie McKinney's on the same run, he's about 1 second behind. Cheery might be in his best interest right now for him to lay back, let it happen in front of him, and as he does so, he's going to end up taking the position just by waiting. Connor Asbell is going to do the work to take the race lead, of course, into his own hands. Carter Casey is going to do the work to pass him, and Richard now swoop by as both drivers go at each other. Let's see if that's how it plays out here, because I would be very shocked if Cheery waits any longer than this little altercation on the circuit. Casey goes low, Cheery goes with them, side by side. Richard gonna let him play it out. New race leader, Carter Casey. Connor Asbell slowly but surely limps up the track, blocks McKinney. Jamie McKinney has come back red hot, and he's looking faster now than Casey and Cheery combined. To the inside, the 0-1 takes 2nd. We said that he came in 2nd. It was highly likely he would get up to Cheery more than anyone else, and that he is done. So McKinney takes P2. Carter Casey, look out. That back end is going to be occupied by the 18. He now doesn't have himself any space. He's got to push. "44 laps to go. He slightly slides up the top of the circuit, just keeping everyone at bay. Jamie McKinney, take a look at this. Scuffed up in the wall. Carter didn't make contact there, but you saw him move up, and I think McKinney reacted, and that's what gave up that issue. Henry Kallhoff is 3.3 seconds away from the championship lead. Again, is a dead heat, and it comes down to the drivers who you're looking at. The 63 of Kallhoff and Richard Cheery in the orange Toyota Camry. Now, whoever of them finishes better wins the championship. 10 drivers are on the racetrack, so we're going to bring you telemetry on the bottom of your screen for the rest of the night. And you'll see exactly what the drivers we're looking at, what they're doing, and how they're doing it. Telemetry data brought to you by iRacing.com. We'll get a chance to learn more about them as the night goes on here. 42 to go. Cheery still third. Carter Casey now watching as Jamie McKinney, shades of Payson Lindsay, surges out in front and uses that high side. Just like that. .41 laps remaining. Richard Cheery dropping slightly below Carter Casey, about a half groove down. Didn't go for the pass that time by through the back straightaway. We'll see if he gets a chance to do so. Again, third place is good enough to win the title. Anything ahead of Kallhoff is good enough for the championship. McKinney is just looking to chase checkered flags in what would be his second win of the season. 18 to Carter Casey, 5th to 2nd. Richard Cheery, 2nd to 3rd. Richard's had a pretty good night so far, and of course, those lead laps are the most important thing. If he wins this one, which very much is possible, I think it's going to be the quintessential race of his SMT career so far, and perhaps his oval career to this point. Richard doesn't have that much experience on the oval so far. It just comes down to the fact that he's more an international driver, and he's dealt with other types of racing, which for the most part have been formula style, which means road courses and circuits that are a lot different from that of the Homestead-Miami Speedway. That being said, Richard Cheery right now is looking to be a road course veteran, of course, in one sense, but also he's racing like a veteran on the ovals. He's done a great job this season of really taking that talent and putting it all together. Race after race, night after night, and we've seen those improvements. Watkins Glen, he was expected to get a podium, of course, having the opportunity. He's a road course guy, but he's gotten great results on the ovals as well, and that's the most exciting part. He's now really coming to be one of the more versatile drivers, and having that versatility is a big deal. 38 laps to go, coming to 37 this time by. Jamie McKinney's out in the head. Henry Kallhoff is further back as he runs right now. P5. Connor Asbell is going to be in 6th. Then you'll have 7th and Ashton Miller. 9th to 7th for the 79. This is Ashton's first start. Done a very solid job so far in the Papa John's Chevrolet SS. Jamie McKinney in the 0-1, waiting for an opportunity here. An opportunity, of course, to win. I think that's what he's really counting down for. Everyone's behind him right now, and he's got the pole-sitting pace that we didn't see in the first half. He's turned up the jets, and so far he's the best man. Richard Cheery continues to follow Carter Casey. .36 laps to go. Vinny Tigner keeping Henry Kallhoff behind him. Even still, Kallhoff having troubles getting further into the top 5. And it looks like right now, unless he gets a miracle in the form of a yellow or any other interruption, he is further behind and too far out to catch up to Richard Cheery, and the championship would come to a close with Cheery as the winning man. Watch inside the cockpit of the number 10 and see what's going on. He's looking for second. To the inside on the 18 of Carter Casey. It's a competition for sure. He's not going to give up and let it happen, but Carter Casey now feeling the pressure. And now Casey's got it ahead. Let's see if he's got any good defense in his back pocket if Richard Cheery comes up. Cherry hasn't yet gotten back up to that back bumper. That's going to be a smoother ride for Carter Casey. 33 laps remaining and time to spare for leader Jamie McKinney. The entire field now separated by 23 seconds. Kenneth Garrell, the final man on the lead lap in the Polaroid number 2. Kenneth tonight hasn't really seen much of anyone. He qualified 7th. He's fallen back 2 spots so far, but I wouldn't say that he's really had a bad night. Just has himself out and alone. He's been going at his own pace, and so I don't think he's had any trouble in what he's done. Then you'll have Ashton Miller and Tyler Sevier. Those 2 drivers in a little bit of a pocket. Then you'll have Connor Asbell, P6. Asbell back on the lead lap. Henry Kallhoff and Vinny Tigner at each other. Still going for 4th place. Hasn't really come of anything. The closest battle on the track right now is that for 2nd and 3rd. Carter Casey and Richard Cherry still the tightest. "31 laps to go. Clock is ticking. Cherry, still your championship leader, and right now he's ahead of Henry Kallhoff by nearly 4 full seconds. How about that? In these last few laps, it looks like that gap has only expanded. While Richard Cherry has not been able to get up to Jamie McKinney, last time by he ran a 33.123, Kallhoff at 33.305. So, just about a 2/10 of a second spread across those 2 drivers. And if that's per lap, then Henry Kallhoff is losing about 2 seconds for every 10 laps. And that is a very unsustainable pace. Over the whole race, that would have cost him 20 seconds. And it looks like with getting behind Vinny Tigner and staying there being another issue, it really isn't going Kallhoff's way right now. And it's all Richard Cherry to the point. Jamie McKinney still holding strong as we pass the lap number 70 marker, and we're coming up on the 3/4 way marker. That's going to be lap number 75. Lap after lap. Intervals have been tight. Everyone's really settled in, though. It looks like the pack racing, of course, not coming in play at Homestead. Usually, that's the best thing about this track, where there's so many grooves and opportunities to do things differently. Drivers on the high side, low side, in the middle, they could be the exact same speed, or they could be very, very different. Payson Lindsay retiring, so he's going to finish in 10th, 29 laps down and counting. Unfortunately, Lindsay, who led laps today, couldn't get the strategy just right, went down to pit road very early, and as such, he's out of this one. So, Lindsay going to finish 10th, leaving 9 drivers left on the circuit. 27 laps to go. Henry Kallhoff is now about a half second behind on Vinny Tigner. Vinny scraping the outer wall again. Looks like tonight he might not sit on the podium. Vinny's been able to comfortably make his way into the top 3 a few times this season just by avoiding all the troubles ahead of him. Tonight, not so much. 26 laps to go. It looks like the biggest difficulty for the Tigner team has been that pit stop cycle, which everyone went through, and it spat him out far behind where he was beforehand. That being Carter Casey. Casey is far up and ahead and is still trying to get back up there to Jamie McKinney. "25 laps to go, and the 0-1 of McKinney holds the lead by 0.4 of a second. Had it not been for Cameron Chandler getting the better of him late in Bristol, McKinney might have just come away with 3 consecutive wins. What a shame that that wasn't able to happen. Perhaps if he ran the full summer series, he would be up there competing for the championship. Not a driver we expected to see up and dominate, but in his few races here, he has been stronger than we've ever seen him before. Top 3 within a second. Next best driver, 5 seconds back in Tigner tonight. It's a close one now as Connor Asbell opts to go down to pit road. Again, Connor was stretching it as long as he could. That's why he was on the lead lap. And now he'll go down after the longest stint of the day. Connor Asbell making it in, and it's after a 44-lap run. He went for a 2-stint strategy tonight. Interesting calls. He goes down to pit road again, and it's going to cost him. 23 laps to go. He'll fall off the lead lap as the leaders are coming toward the start-finish line again. With 22 laps remaining, we'd like to thank our partners at Whiplash SimCams for our coverage, of course, with our wonderful broadcast cameras. Broadcasters at any level can get involved as Carter Casey surges down to the inside and looks for the race lead. Casey can't quite get there. The 0-1 of McKinney stays ahead. If you'd like to get your broadcast cameras, the best place to do so is Whiplash SimCams. $5 per car or track pack. No licensing fees necessary. That is right. There's no strings attached. When you purchase, it's yours, and some free sample packs are available on their website and their Discord. So make sure to check out the social media platforms for Whiplash SimCams. With 22 laps to go, we're going to crank it up for the final time in this summer series from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Let's get loud and proud from Miami. The battle for the race lead is about as close as it's been all night long. Carter Casey has tried twice, hasn't been able to get there. Jamie McKinney again pulls out a quarter of a second, but it hasn't been too much of a substantial assist. Time going back and forth. Even if he's gotten a few instances where, yes, he's pulling out in the way, it doesn't mean it's going to stay that way forever. So when Carter Casey comes around and gets it back, well, it's just a cycle that continues. 17 laps to go, and even as Richard Cheery finds himself oh so close, he might be able to take the race lead. Not sure yet which of these drivers is going to get it done. Jamie McKinney up top, and he's got Carter Casey to his inside again. Casey low, looking to get a surge, can't quite get there. Carter Casey has still not gotten the victory lane, and of course, it's been a long while coming for this number 18 crew. The 8 team in the main series, 18 in the summer series. He's gotten close. He came back to full-time competition about a year and a half ago and burst onto the scene with a podium finish. Since then, he's been a little bit quieter, although he's been very strong with getting qualifying positions. Pole positions aplenty. The wins haven't come. Tonight could be the difference. He tried it again on the number 01 of McKinney. But Jamie did not waver. Casey again gets there. Jamie McKinney scrubs the outside wall. They'll fight each other down the start-finish. Richard Cherry still with the best seat in the house. 14 laps to go. Watch aboard. Carter Casey, a man on a mission, has not quit. Casey gets to the bottom. Jamie McKinney continues to use the top side. It looks like he doesn't have any active defense he can use. It's just all about switching up the grooves. Really taking that page out of the Payson Lindsay playbook. It looks like going up high and working that final grip strip. If you can do it well, you'll be able to stay up in front. That's exactly how he's maintained the lead, Jamie McKinney. And Carter Casey has not yet been able to hold a candle. 13 laps to go. Richard Cherry, 88 laps in, still just a half second back with the championship lead. He is 8 seconds ahead of the Kallhoff car, which means that the championship, while not settled yet, when the checkered flag falls, if Richard Cherry outfinishes Kallhoff, it'll be game, set, and match. Jamie, now with 12 laps to go, 0.3 of a second to keep the lead. He's coming up on the lapper in Kenneth Gurrell. Kenneth will be put one down. As you see Connor Asbill, they're already a lap down. It'll be Gurrell who is next, as all these drivers, leaders and lappers alike, come out of the final corner. 11 to go. Jamie McKinney is now just about 6 seconds off of Vinny Tigner and Henry Kallhoff. And we talk about that as being the midpoint between those two drivers. So Kallhoff has lost time to Tigner. They used to be locked tight, but that's no longer the case. Kenneth Gurrell falls out of the way. Jamie McKinney quickly disposing of the number 18. Of course, that was to get the lead back. And even quicker, gets by Kenneth Gurrell. Carter Casey, that number 18 team, keeping the fight alive, however, with 10 laps to go. And while he was passed, he would like that not to be the end of the story. And he's trying to rewrite the ending of this race. Still just a little bit of time for him to flip the script and finish it off. Richard Cherry has stayed on that back end as well. And don't count out Cherry. Richard is still an onlooker who could very quickly get involved and win this race for himself. 10 laps to go, make it 9 remaining. Jamie McKinney is still where he needs to be. 0.3 up with the positional advantage and no worries about what's going on behind. A few tenths of a second, usually at these intermediate tracks, if you have that amount of distance, you don't have to entirely stress yourself about what's going on behind you. Of course, I'm sure McKinney is looking back, but concern would only be if he's really getting caught up to, if he's going side by side with Carter Casey. Watch now, Casey still trailing with 8 laps remaining. Vinny Tigner's on his own for 4th. Richard Cherry just has to watch and get to the end with 8 laps to go. That's all he'll need if he wants to come away an SNT Summer Series champion. Up top, right against the wall. I mean, he's riding that grip strip perfect. That is technical finesse, and that is what you need if you want to hold on to a race lead just like that. Eight laps to go is passed. 7 to go. For Richard Cherry, it could be his lucky race. Richard continues to watch as it's a side-by-side for the race lead out of 4. That high side for Jamie McKinney has been remarkably well executed. And that's the difference maker right now for the lead. I think Carter's got him through 1 and 2. For the last 2 laps, he's absolutely been quicker there, but he has not been able to get him out of the final set of corners. And that's a victory-making difference. Watch again with Jamie McKinney inside the cockpit. Look at how close the right side of the car is to that dark strip right before the wall. If you get right to that strip perfectly, the car is pushed around, the dirty air bounces right back off, and it helps you rotate through the corner with ease. That's what Jamie McKinney is using, and that's why he still has the top spot on the board. 5 laps to go. And it looks like still Carter Casey has not gotten there, but he's only a tenth and a half out. They've almost been identical in pace for the better part of 50 laps. Richard Cherry is there, though, and if he wants to make a move to fight for the win, it's now or never. He's got to make it past 2 drivers. He can't wait till the outright last lap. Maybe he's waiting on there to be a big problem ahead of him. I would be shocked if that were the case. So far, the 2 drivers in Casey and McKinney have raced each other with respect and really haven't given each other too much of a problem. 3 wide for the race lead with 4 laps to go. McKinney scrapes it up top, but the grip strip carries him side by side for second. Here comes Richard Cherry. 3 laps remaining. The Cherry car gets it very close to second. Side by side, looking for the position down low. It looks like now Carter Casey has himself a little bit more to handle. Defense and offense. Is he going to look for a position or is he just going to take it as is? It looks like right now he'll keep that number 29 on the back end. Richard Cherry still not close enough. 2 laps remaining. White flag is due to fly next time by for the field, and McKinney has the advantage of a quarter of a second again. Championship leader Cherry is only 4 tenths behind your race leader. If trouble brews ahead, it could be Cherry who gets his maiden victory. Jamie is looking for 2 consecutive as they go through turns 3 and 4. Henry Kallhoff 10 seconds behind in the 63. You'll see him all the way back here. Tyler Seaver 18 seconds back. But Jamie McKinney is going to be able to pull through for the final time, and with 1 lap to go, McKinney is up and ahead looking for his 2nd consecutive win. McKinney holding down the fort for another amazing week. And he is one of the 2 drivers who have perhaps impressed us the most throughout this campaign, bringing the 0-1 car to victory and 3 podiums, 2 wins, 3 top 3s in 3 races. Jamie McKinney is set to come around for the final time and collect victory from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. And as he crosses the start-finish line, Richard Cherry does the unthinkable. 1 point behind coming in, outlasting Henry Kallhoff. Cherry is a champion. For the first time in his Saturday Night Thunder career, Richard Cherry is a Summer Series title winner and the inaugural driver with that honor. One of a kind, Richard Cherry finishes 3rd and puts the icing on a cake of a remarkable season. It's Cherry's championship and Jamie McKinney's victory. And we've got 2 new stars to watch out for next season. What a race and a drive for McKinney. Cherry gets away from Kallhoff, the champion, and the race winner. Burn it down. Cherry takes it to the top of the circuit. and rides around one final time the virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway as he pulls it back to the start-finish line and continues the celebration. And what a championship race it was for Cherry, locked up between he, Cameron Chandler, and Henry Kallhoff, and he had to outlast the best in the field to make it his. For the first time in his oval racing career, Cherry is a champion. Jamie McKinney will win over Carter Casey, and Richard finishes third, with Vinny Tigner then P4, Henry Kallhoff 5th, 6th place in Tyler Sevier, and Kenneth Gorell 7th, as Connor Asbell, Ashton Miller, and Payson Lindsay round out the top 10. It's then Andres Varas, Chris Tripp, and Aaron Schugel who conclude the racing lineup today from Homestead. What a night and what a performance. We're going to talk to your third place finisher first and foremost, of course, because not only does he sit on the podium, but he is now an SNT champion. The goal for Richard Cherry tonight was to outfinish Henry Kallhoff. It was one-on-one, every position counted, and tonight he achieved that goal. Getting ahead of Kallhoff and finishing third to Henry's 5th was all you needed to do to lock down the Summer Series championship. Richard Cherry, it's your title. How do you feel in victory lane, of course, as a champion?
Well, I mean, we were just really consistent. So, gotta shout out to my teammates, first of all. Jamie allowed me to lead the first lap there to have the point and try kind of be relaxed throughout the race. I think that first stint, I did really well with 7 tires. So, a shame I couldn't replicate that on the second half, but it's whatever, championship, it's all that matters. So, shout out to Henry, kind of congratulations to him for the season he has had. Cameron too. Sadly, he couldn't make it today, but hope he enjoyed the Xfinity race today at Dover. And also I would like to do again the shout out in Spanish to the same people. So un saludo para el grupo otra vez de los Reales, un campeonato por fin, aunque sea un campeonato de verano, pero bueno, un campeonato es un campeonato, sin victorias, pero bueno. Un saludo también a la CFI en lo más alto, y nada, eso sería todo. That would be all.
Well, Richard Cherry, before we let you go, we wanted to ask you about a few things in this race. First off, you led laps early. You got the bonus point over Kallhoff. How important do you think it was to get yourself out in front that quick?
It was really important because it allowed me to use, at the beginning of the race, kind of drop back and try to save tires, which paid dividends there at the end of the run. And then in the second run, I think I got a little bit subconsciously. I was kind of pushing by accident, trying to get by Carter because I knew it was faster at the beginning of the run, but he saved tires better than me. And Jamie, of course, won the race. Congratulations to him as well. And it was obviously it was really important to kind of not get tense throughout the race.
And now you have yourself this championship, and you put together all these great performances. In a few weeks, we're going to begin real SNT racing again with our full season to end 2025. Do you expect to have yourself racing full-time and look for more success?
I don't know how senior year of high school is going to go, but if it's not as busy with college applications and everything, I'm going to do it full-time. If not, I might as well just do it part-time because, it's going to be a blast with that car and the people that race in the Xfinity series, so it should be really enjoyable.
Well, Richard Cherry getting the job done for your first SNT championship and pulling through to become the winner of the Summer Series with a third place finish in Miami. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, man.
Cherry goes on his way, and he gets the better, of course, of everyone in the field points-wise. But when it comes to racing, Jamie McKinney comes into this field, and he is red hot with another pole position and another victory. Jamie, these last 3 races for you, filled with successes, laps led, and to end the season, another victory. And you really came alive in that second stint.
Yeah. we just figured out that the outside lane was the only practical groove to make a pass. It does burn up your tires, but I mean, it's the only way to prevent someone from passing you. I'd like to thank my team, TCMC, for giving me the opportunity to race, and I'd like to say thank you to my teammates as well. They've been great, helping me, great friends too. And I would like to say thank you to Carter Casey for racing me clean. I have a lot of respect for him too, and it was really fun racing them. But yeah, mostly in the race we were just stuck in traffic, so I tried to stay out as long as possible. Went to pit road, and then I restarted like 5th, and I just kind of just ran the outside until I took the lead. So yeah.
And the difference for you, of course, as we mentioned, last 50 laps, you spent at a pit road second. So we figured if anyone had a chance to catch up and take the race lead, it would probably be you chasing Richard Cherry. You found yourself about a second behind when you got back off the way, but you really pulled in that distance and ended up passing both Cherry and Carter Casey. The aggression level, maybe a little bit higher for you to keep it on defense as well?
Well, I guess so. I wasn't going to plan to make contact with anyone, so I was just trying to hog the outside to prevent anyone from passing me for the lead, especially Casey, because he was way faster than me on the long run. So, yeah, I don't know. I did not have the fastest car. Probably on the short run I did, but not the long run. So, I don't know. I was just trying to fend them off, trying to do the best I could.
And it looks like another instance of that defense working. The job is done for the Summer Series. 2 wins, most of anyone during this campaign. The main series opens up pretty soon, though, Jamie. With this success, you think you're going to have a chance to carry it over and look for your first main series win?
Who knows? I don't know. I don't really run full-time that much anyway because I live all the way over here in Sweden, so time zones are different. So, yeah, maybe. I'll try my best to probably get a top 5 in the main series, so, yeah.
Just like that, Jamie McKinney pulls for 2 victories during the SNT Summer Series and comes alive for a second consecutive victory at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Any final shout-outs you'd like to send out? The floor is yours.
No, nothing else except for saying thank you to you guys for running the league. It's really fun.
Jamie McKinney, back-to-back wins, as strong as they came in the Summer Series finale. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, no problem.
With McKinney on the move, our final driver on the podium gets his best finish of the summer, and Carter Casey is back on the podium again. The 18 team goes P2, qualifying 5th, and so close to victory tonight. It was between you and Jamie McKinney there at the end. You gave him a few shots going down to the inside. No contact, but it was close. Just a few tenths off the win.
Yeah, that was a good battle between Jamie and I. He did a good job ripping the top early, which was smart, and then got by me. I tried to play the tire game. It paid off a little bit, but the bottom was just kind of hard to manage. Could have thrown a slider to maybe try and clear him, but I think it would have wiped us both out if I threw a slider there. And hats off to Jamie, though. That was a heck of a race between the two of us.
And of course, that battle for the race victory active between you and McKinney, Richard Cherry following for the first half of the race. It was a tale of 2 races. You were behind the leading battle, close, up there for the podium places. Was there anything you changed in your approach to give yourself a better chance the next time around?
Yeah, actually, I changed up the way I was attacking turn 1 and 2, and entered a lane higher there, trying to get the left sides on the seams, on that first seam there to help the car rotate and just back my corners up a little more early in that second run, and that helped out a lot. And yeah, it got the long run speed out of the car that I was looking for. Just kind of tough to make the pass there, but happy it panned out to where we got the race straight up for a win. And these guys are tough to race against. We got some fast people in here, and any chance you get to be in the mix, man, it's definitely something you have to work for. So loved every second of it, and yeah, that was a good time.
And the racing for you turned out real strong tonight, of course. Simple strategy, caution-free. We got to ask about this because it's on the stream right now. We don't know if it's on your side, but all the graphics on your car are blown up. The number is huge. The sponsor's big. Is that for real, or is that something on our side?
No, it's I guess Jordan Worth made this paint on Trading Paints recently, and he's done it with a bunch of paints. And so I thought it was kind of funny. I run a Wednesday league with the ARCA cars, so I go back and switch paints every Saturday to match the number. And I just found this and thought it was kind of funny. So it was probably messing with a few people's minds for sure. But no, it's nothing on your end. It's just the paint on Trading Paints there.
Oh, well, look at that. Carter Casey. We can't read interstate batteries on the front, but we know that's exactly what it means to read. Second place in your best finish of the summer. We're just a few weeks away from going full-time racing in the SNT main series. So until then, any final comments you'd like to leave us with?
Just thank you for broadcasting. Thank Henry for he put a lot of effort into the summer series and kept our guys active. I know we got a group of racers and they're always itching to turn some laps. So Henry's efforts definitely appreciated, and it gave these guys a chance to get some summertime laps in here before we get to the main season coming up. So always appreciative of everybody that makes it possible. Shout out to Vinny and all the drivers again. This is a tough group to race with, so any chance I get to get a podium, it's well earned. So yeah, just shout out to everybody that makes this possible.
And it was about as tight as you could get for a battle for the race win. You and Jamie McKinney going for it. Second place to end the summer series. Number 18 team, P2. Thank you for your time here from Homestead.
Thank you.
As Carter Casey gets on his way, the night has concluded, and so has the season. Checkered flag falls, Casey finishing second, Jamie McKinney winning, but third place, Richard Cherry, the number 29 on your screen right there, orange and as bright as they come, wins the SNT Summer Series Championship. And what a title race it was, down to the wire, down to the final points, as we headed to our championship race. Cherry comes in clutch, beating Henry Kallhoff, and so now we're only about 3 weeks away from SNT Racing coming back full on. If you enjoyed tonight's racing, well, there's no better place to see more of it than here on FTN. 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, Saturday night from August to November, SNT is coming back for 15 more races to end 2025. So if you enjoyed tonight's coverage, make sure to leave a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. For the virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway, you've been watching racing from the Kallhoff-Deitch Racing Summer Series, brought to you with Saturday Night Thunder. I've been your host, David Kreutz, commentating and producing, so we hope to have you back for our next broadcast tomorrow night with the Schumacher Racing League, and we can't wait for the festivities to come into play for our next season of SNT competition. Thank you to the league admins, Vinny Tickner, Carter Casey, and Henry Kallhoff for bringing this summer series together. What a great 5 races it was. And we can't wait for the next chance to have some fun with these ARCA cars. Until then, thank you for tuning in. We hope you have a fantastic night.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Boundless makes its presence felt. It will not be ignored. We're helping turn ideas into reality with a wealth of building products that take every architectural style to the next level. This is what it's like to imagine build, and transform anything we want into exactly what we seek. This is what it means to be boundless.
Welcome to the Underdog Racing Podcast, where we talk to NASCAR drivers from all over the great country of America. Each week, we chat about the latest races, share stories from the track, and get to know the drivers behind the wheel. We break down the action, hear from drivers about their experiences, and dive into what drives them to keep racing. Whether you're a longtime NASCAR fan or just curious about the sport, this is the place for you. So tune in to the Underdog Racing Podcast, your inside look at the world of NASCAR. Catch us every Wednesday at 6:30 Eastern.
This message is brought to you by the rebrand of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This publication may not be reposted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. NASCAR Camping World Ford F-150. NASCAR Xfinity Ford Mustang. NASCAR Cup Series Next-Gen Ford Mustang. Arca Menards. This has been the publication of the redesign and rebranding of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This message may not be reposted, republicated, or rebroadcasted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. Thank you, and thanks for your time.